Hey, what's going on YouTube? Derek here, and I bring you guys a unbelievable pickups video. Two of my greatest finds of all time, and they came in 2 days, back to back. So, before I tell that story, I have one other pickup here I want to show, just because it got here in the mail, and I am planning to sell it. I bought this on eBay, on the newly listed feed for $18. Now, I don't really know how good of a deal it is because I don't know how easy this is going to be to sell, but because it doesn't have the overlays, which I believe it comes with, and it doesn't have the manual, but it's World Series Major League Baseball for the ECS. Pretty rare game. I think it's the second rarest game on the ECS, but again, no manual. The box isn't in the best shape, but it was only $18, so I was like, you know, I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance. But, alright. So, two unbelievable deals that came back to back. And they both involved me driving to North Carolina to get them because... So, I've been trying to get back into buying and selling in video games. And I think my camera is over here. I've been trying to get back into buying and selling video games for a few months. And I told myself at the start of the year that I was really going to get back into it. And I've been scouring eBay and Facebook Marketplace, and I even check Craigslist, even though no one uses that anymore. And both of these were on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I have my range set to 100 miles, just in case something incredible comes up and it's worth driving 100 miles for, which obviously it was because I did it twice in 2 days on opposite sides of the state, which is hilarious. So, I'm just going to show you the first deal. The second deal is a little better. But the first deal is still crazy. I can't even believe what I have to show you here. So, let's get into the first deal. Let's tell the first story. Tuesday afternoon. It's about 12 o'clock probably. 12:30. I went to the Goodwill outlet and didn't find anything. And when I got back in my car, for some reason I decided I was going to check Facebook Marketplace on my phone. So I did. And I see something get posted that just says Super Nintendo stuff. And that's it. And the picture was like a picture of like the back of a manual, like that. So you didn't even know what it was, but it said $30. And when I clicked on it, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I was like no way. But I saw it got posted like 30 minutes earlier, so I was like, it's gone. I'm sure it's gone. But you got to try, right? So I shoot her a message and I say, hey, look, if it's still available, I can come pick it up today. I can be there by like 4 o'clock and, whatever. So she messages me back. She tells me that, I'm sorry, it's already pending for somebody for tomorrow for $35. And at that point I was like, well, it is what it is. And I let it go. Not even 5 minutes later, probably, she texts me again and says, someone just offered me $60 for it. And I'm thinking, all right, well, if these fucking sharks are going to throw out their bids on this shit, I'm going to join in. So I gave it my best shot. And I'll tell you what I paid at the end, but I said, look, I'll give you this much. If you'll take it, we have a deal, and if not, so be it. And to my surprise, she said yes. So let me show you what I got. It's all Super Nintendo stuff. And so these first 4 boxes are empty, unfortunately, which I honestly didn't know when I was buying this because the listing was super vague. So I didn't know they were empty, but it doesn't really matter because the one thing I have to show you completely makes up for it. So we got Star Fox, which I might keep. I don't know. Prince of Persia, which I've never owned this cartridge before, let alone the box. So that was cool. This one was disappointing, though, because I thought it had the cartridge. Link to the Past. Not mint, but in alright shape. But that one might be worth buying the cartridge for. I'm not keeping that one. And I might keep this one too. Super R-Type. Now, I believe all of these have their manuals. And I think only this one doesn't have the insert. So, pretty cool. Not bad. And then we got a couple of complete games. We got Jurassic Park and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This box is seen better days, but hey, it's Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Both of those are going to be for sale. And then 2 loose games. 2 loose games And you're probably thinking at this point, why would you drive 2 hours for this deal? Because of this last game. But before that, we got one other loose cartridge. It's Phalanx, which is another game I don't believe I've ever owned, but I know it's a pretty good game. It's a shooter, which you wouldn't think from the cover. Dude playing the banjo and the spaceship in the background, but it's like a $20 game. And this last game, this is a game I've never seen, and it's one of those games that's notorious for having a bad label. If you look on eBay, so many of these copies that are listed have horrible labels. This one's not mint, but it's pretty good. Mega Man 7. Mega Man 7. Not a game I've ever owned. No, I don't even think I've ever seen it, to be honest. It's in pretty good condition. It does have to be cleaned up a little bit on the front and the back. So the only problem with the label is it has that little nick right there and a little bit right there. But the end label looks great. So it'll display really good. I am going to shoot a little high on this cartridge. Price charting list $120. Judging from the other labels I've seen on eBay, I'm going to try to get close to $150. But this is for sale. I don't collect loose games. But of course, I made sure to ask her. I was like, do you have the box for this? Like, I'll pay you a lot more if you got the box for this one. She didn't, unfortunately. So, what did I pay for that deal? So, I had to pay $100 for it. Still an excellent deal considering once I sell this, I've already profited. So, not a bad deal. But that doesn't even compare to what I got yesterday. Yesterday morning, I wake up. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And, before I do that, I forgot to show the other stuff I got with that Super Nintendo bundle. There were some extra manuals. Now, unfortunately, these are all water damaged, which sucks because there's some good manuals in here. Battle Clash, but none of the pages are stuck together, so they might be okay for some people. This is one of the heartbreakers, though. Wolfenstein 3D. The only one that's not water damaged and in okay shape, and is actually worth more than I thought. This game's gone up a lot. Robotrek with the poster. Destroyed manual here. Super Metroid. I mean, that's terrible. Super Scope 6. Mario Paint. Super NES Mouse. And the NES Super Scope. Not a bad bonus, I guess. Robotrek is worth like $20 probably just for the manual, so I'll take that. Okay, now on to the next deal. Woke up Wednesday morning. No. Wait, today's Friday, right? Alright, so that first deal was on Wednesday then. Woke up Thursday morning, about 10 o'clock, checked my phone, and I see this get listed. And I was like the first person to see it. It said like listed like 2 minutes ago. So I was like, okay, I have to fucking message this guy. And it just said video game stuff. And it had one picture and no description. But judging from one single thing I saw in the picture, I was like, I'm willing to make this drive. But so the guy was asking $200, which is an unbelievable deal. But to be perfectly honest, I didn't have the $200. Like, I just spent $100 on this stuff the night before, and I had to spend some other money this week getting some other personal stuff done, like fixing my car and whatnot. So I didn't have a whole lot of cash. Like, I had $150, and that was like tapping me out. But I sent him a message and I said, look, I can give you $150. I can be there in 2 hours. And he immediately replied, yeah, that sounds good. Here's my address. Blah, blah, blah. Sketchy meeting a guy at his house, but once I got there, I kind of understood why I had to. So, $150 is what I paid. And I'm getting ready to show this stuff to you. But so, I drive down there. It's in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. It's like an hour and a half, hour 45 from where I live. And this guy does not know anything about video games. He was kind of an older guy. And he told me he buys and sells storage units, which must be where all this came from. And he couldn't meet because he had other people coming to buy stuff because he sells all sorts of shit. Like he said, like, one dude's coming to buy a lawnmower, one dude's coming to buy car parts, one dude's coming to, whatever. And he straight up told me, he's like, I don't know anything about video games. So that being said, and he's told me on the way there, someone called him and offered him $300 for it, or messaged him, whatever, and he turned him down, and for the reason, and I quote, "I'm a good Southern man, and we had a deal." So, to whoever that dude is, Anthony, I think your name was, huge shout out. Huge shout out. But I'm going to start by showing the systems I got with the deal, because there's a bunch of them, and I'm not going to show the cords and all that, because I got cords for most of them, but I'll explain. So, starting off, we got a PS2 FET here, missing the little piece there, and all this stuff is super dirty. Super dirty. N64 with the one lone game, beat to shit. You want to see beat to hell. Look at this fucking game. Yeah, that's destroyed. But surprisingly, the system is in a beautiful condition. No expansion pack. And no other games either. And no controllers, but I did get cords, I believe. I at least got a power cord, so I'll just buy a third-party controller and a cheap AV cable and put it with it. Got a GameCube here with an old Trade It sticker on it. But it does have all the port covers, and we did get 3 controllers with this. Only one, though, was even remotely in good condition. But GameCube controllers have gone up a lot, too. Like, I think I can sell parts ones for $15, so who knows. We got 2 PS2 Slims. These are both the original model that uses the brick power adapter that's proprietary, which sucks because we only got one power adapter for this. But I think I can still sell replacement PS2s on eBay for $40. So I can at least test them. Hopefully they work. Even if none of these systems work, this one single thing I have to show you is still worth the money I paid. If that's any indication. We got a Genesis Model 1 here with not the high definition graphics model. It's in alright condition. It's been a long time since I've owned a Sega Genesis. PS1 system here. These are fucking worthless. It actually came with 2, but one was... I haven't tested any of this yet, but that one that I threw it in the garbage. It was clearly broken and never going to work again. Like, the ports on the back were all jacked up. It was trash. And the last system here, we have the Black Wii system with a GameStop, old GameStop tag on it. Missing the doors, unfortunately, but hey, if it works. It did have a disc in it, though, but it was just Game Party 3. So, that's all the systems I got. And I got some cool... I'm not going to show you all the cords and controllers, because there's PS1 controllers, GameCube, PS2, some third-party shit. I'm not going to show you all that. But I did pull out these 2 because I didn't know they were coming. We got a DualShock 3 controller in actually pretty good condition. And even cooler, the Star Wars PS4 controller in good shape. So I got to test that. But, I'm sure this is still $30 on eBay. So, not bad. And I have a dilemma on my hands, which you're going to see. And then just a handful of games. Once again, much like that other deal. Also, that Genesis has the paperwork. Much like the other deal, only a few games and a very weird assortment. So let me move this here. And I'll show you the ones without manuals that I am selling. And I don't know, I might have to start collecting for the Genesis after this. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. But the ones without manuals here. Sonic 2. Great Waldo Search. Sonic 1, which price charting says complete. This game's $22. And if that's the case, I'm going to start buying every fucking Sonic I see. Winter Olympic Games. And Sequest. So all those were missing manuals. I'll just probably pair them with the system. I don't really care. But there's 5 games that have manuals, and there's a couple of gems. So I'll show the 3 cheap ones first. Can't buy a Super Nintendo or a Genesis lot without getting Miss Pac-Man. The Lion King. And here's a cool one I don't think I've ever had before. Skitchin. Pretty cool game. I think it's like Road Rash, but it's supposed to be Road Rash, but on skates. I don't think it's supposed to be as good though. But if I'm gonna hang on to these three, I'm gonna hang on to these two, and I'll show the first one. This one, I'm not that worried about but I don't. This game's gone up a fucking shitload. I don't know why this is so expensive. It's Theme Park. Nice and complete with the manual. Cartridges in beautiful condition. Sold listings on eBay right now for this game are $60 to $70, which is crazy. I cannot believe it. But part of me is like, well, I kind of want to hang on to it because this next game is fucking unbelievable. So it's probably the rarest game I've ever owned. I'm sure it's the rarest game that I've ever owned. Certainly the most expensive. I can't think of a single game I've owned that would be more expensive than this. Maybe other than like my N64 prototype. And like I'm getting anxiety. Like I'm getting like just looking at it. It's like I can't believe that this is in my hands. One final game. Crusader of Senti. Fucking Crusader of Senti. And the box is in... I mean, it's in pretty good shape. It's not mint, but it's certainly not bad. So when he posted that picture, I didn't even know if there was a cartridge in here. If it was just an empty box or what was the deal. And when I got there, naturally, this was the first game that I wanted to see. And was very, very surprised to see that the cartridge is in there and in mint condition. I mean, it's a fucking beautiful example of a Crusader of Senti. And even more happily, we have the manual. This is not a cheap game. For anybody that's not aware, I don't know if this is the most expensive game on the Genesis, but or the rarest. But it's at least in the top 3, I would imagine. And I can't get the cartridge back in there now. You know, I'm trying to be extremely, extremely careful with this box. There we go. So, price charting list sits at 6. It's probably closer to the $450, $500 range. And I really want to keep it, to be honest with you. So I'll tell you, I've already had an offer for it. And a pretty good offer for it, but I got to think about it because I'm never going to play it, to be honest with you. It's a Zelda clone. I don't really like Zelda. I'm sure I'm not going to like this, but it is an Atlas game, and Atlas is one of those companies that's like I've always wanted like to complete the subset of Atlas games in the U.S. Of course, there's some fucking super rarities, Tail Concerto and all sorts of other Atlas games that are beyond rare, Jack Brothers. But if I sell this, it's very, very realistic that I will never find another one. Ever. I mean, I've never seen this game, ever. Even just a cartridge. Let alone a box and manual. So, I've got to think about this. I mean, this is the creme de la creme of Sega Genesis games. And if I sell it, I mean, it's a real possibility I'll never find another one. Ever. And I can almost justify keeping it because I'm going to be able to sell all this other shit and make more than I spent on it total. So it's like, this won't cost me anything. It'll be like I got paid to take it. So I'm still thinking about it, but just to hold this and have it is to say I've had a complete Crusader of Senti is unbelievable. Certainly not a game I ever thought I would find, and what a way to start off the year than with Mega Man 7 and Crusader of Senti in 2 days. 2 of my best finds of all time. I don't know if it's the single best find I've ever had. I still think this deal I had many, many years ago was better bang for your buck because there were so many games with that. But to find these 2 back-to-back, it makes these just unbelievable to me. and definitely like one of my best stories, and hopefully one of my best videos of all time. Like I said, I want to get back into YouTube. I think this is a pretty good way to start. But that's all I have to show you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll be able to find some more shit, but unfortunately I gotta sell some of this shit. I am broke. You know, I spent too much money on this stuff, and some of it has to go. So to eBay it will. But I rest my case. I hopefully we'll see you guys soon for another Pick'ems video. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.